everybody, Brandon Jones here, editor-in-chief of GameTrailers.com. I'm joined by Mr. Kyle Bossman.
I like trailers.
Mr. Daniel Bloodworth.
I was less enthusiastic today.
And people have concerns. They have concerns over trailer score. Apologies to everybody in advance that we keep coming up with new things for this darn show every single week. But it is an evolving show, and considering we are GameTrailers.com, we're very serious about our trailer podcasts. And we want to get it out to you and make it the best it can possibly be. Have concerns of people that we are putting the score of the trailer in the thumb, which I promise you was very intentional. I want people to see that. I want that thumb to stand out from other analyses that people are doing of trailers. And nobody's scoring trailers. Nobody's scoring movie trailers. Nobody's scoring game trailers. I want that to stand out from this show. That may be something that changes down the road. I'm certainly open to constructive criticism. A lot of people are frustrated because they see the score, and then they're like, well, I know the whole conversation, which I would argue with. You don't know what we scored them individually. I would also argue that by seeing the score, that would make you want to hear the conversation. I would also think it would be attractive if you had missed out on maybe like 2 or 3 weeks of trailer scores, and then would go back to the playlist on YouTube or on our show page on Game Trailers, and then look at all the scores, and maybe think like, oh, what am I in the mood for? Actually, am I in the mood to just watch Batman? Or, wow, they gave that trailer a 3. I really want to watch that video, as opposed to just jumping into them because, you know, you want to hear every episode of trailer score. So it is an evolving show. We're not sure exactly what we're going to do for this thumb. Of course, I will put the score back in, and maybe we'll keep doing that for the next couple episodes. And then if there's just tons of fallout, if people are really frustrated and they hate the score in the thumb,
I just want to say everyone who's frustrated is valid. That's a valid complaint.
oh, of course.
It's just that weird thing of like, well, it sucks, but more people click on this if there's a number on it.
Right.
That is what, like, that's the sad reality.
Well, there are many facets of the show, and one of the facets is that I want people to see it. I want it to get out there. I want people to talk about it. I want there to be some trailer house out there that worked on a trailer that we give a 6, and I want them to be like, hey, and they watch the video and then reach out to me, and then there's a new contact that we've created because of the podcast. So if it seems like we're not making traction putting the number in the thumbs, and the only cause and effect that it's having is it is pissing off our viewers, then we'll stop doing that. But we haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm upsetting people, but I'm not upsetting enough people. So that might be a change we're going to make down the road. But before we make that change, it's time to watch a Just Cause trailer. I don't know what's happening, man. So many trailers are coming out for games that I'm so excited about, but the trailers themselves are just kind of like, they're just kind of there. This trailer's exciting. There's many exciting things happening in the trailer. And actually going back through it several times, I picked up things that I didn't notice before. One of them is grappling to the bottom of a helicopter and placing your feet at the bottom of the helicopter, so you're basically standing up upside down. And then you can then, I don't know if that means the camera then flips upside down. I don't know what they're doing, if there's going to be a first-person camera in this game or what the camera angles are going to be. There's been lots of teasing with this game. We've gotten various glimpses. We got a trailer that was kind of CG, but also kind of evocative of what the engine would look like. And so I got to admit, as somebody who's already really excited about this game, just a bunch of stuff blowing up doesn't really amp me up that much. I wanted to see these events played out a little bit more rather than just kind of a big grab bag. But maybe that more thought out, stunt driven trailer is what we're going to be getting for E3. Absolutely terrible to throw some VO in at the end.
Oh boy. Yep.
I always resent somebody telling me the name of the game that I'm looking at. You know, I hate it when I look at a logo and then somebody comes in and tries to be the voice in my head. It is never as impactful as the voice that's already there.
How do you know what to pre-order, though? How do you know what to say out loud when you go to GameStop?
I was kind of okay when he just said Just Cause 3, but then the pitch, the pre-order.
It's like the old Resident Evil guy. Resident Evil. It's like, we're not supposed to take that seriously. I mean, was that supposed to be really spooky back in the day? The Capcom wanna...
I think it was supposed to be spooky, but I'm happy they stick with it, the Resident Evil.
So it's not supposed to be spooky now,
when
they actually say, like, Resident Evil. It's just kind of an average trailer. I'm more excited about the game, and this is always the line that we have to draw with this show, is we are specifically talking about the trailer. We're not talking about the game. And did this trailer work in bringing new audiences in towards this game? I think this is really like an engine proof of concept. You know, it's like they're really showing off particles. They're showing off speed. They're showing off, there were... I don't remember there being trains actually in Just Cause 2. So like trains are a big deal. The fact that you can derail them, obviously, if you like drive a car into them or set off mines and stuff like that. This huge big stunt that he does at the end, where he's in a jet and then jumps out of the jet into a parachute and crashes that jet into something. Like I've done that a billion times. It looks way better in this game, which is why I'm looking forward to playing it. But that's kind of something that I knew going into this. And, not only a pre-order screen, but a pre-order scream. They shouted at you. A lot of reasons to be potentially underwhelmed with the trailer. I think everybody on this planet should be excited for Just Cause 3. But the trailer itself is pretty average. I give it a 7. Because it's just kind of middle of the road for me. Just kind of there. Made me more excited about the game. Maybe 7.1. I'll give it a 0.1.
Nice.
I'll give it a 0.1 for the standing upside down on the helicopter. That is worth 0.1.
Yeah, so actually, I'll give it 8.1, reduce that to 7.6, but because of pre-orders shouting at us. So the first half of the trailer is stuff that I don't think is unique to Just Cause. Like, I think it doesn't make sense when he's flying to the jet to cut in between him flying into it and landing on it, because what's different about Just Cause is that these aren't scripted events like Uncharted. Like, you can do that. You can jump on any jet you want to. That's your selling point. And I think it's after the Gatling gun shot. Basically, everything from that point forward to me seems more like this is only in Just Cause. And so I'm happy for them to show that stuff. It eventually got to the point where it's showing you can only do this in Just Cause stuff. I wish it was all that, basically. Use your strengths.
And I think that might be one thing that I'm looking for is, a thread that weaves through all of these moments. And it's not just kind of a grab bag of crazy stuff.
Right.
To me, that's like a launch trailer or a big, huge gameplay trailer. But for that first glimpse, I really want to get in there and see, why this is different from Just Cause 2. And not just that, more crazy stuff, more fun action game.
I think this game could benefit from one of those trailers where it's just consistent gameplay. Like we
One
saw
big
with Batman
shot.
earthis
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
That would really, I think.
Yeah, I think
we
that's
should
the
go
thing.
for
It's
that
like I
eventually.
think this like begs for some kind of like Just Cause Rube Goldberg machine type thing. Start off at one point and then just like pull it all the way through. I'm a little bit higher on this, I think, but probably go with a 7.9. One of the things that struck me really early on, I had to rewind and look at it too. The continuity of that plane shot. When he is flying through the clouds, you see all of his weapons and the rocket launcher and all that. Once he actually gets on the plane, he's got a completely different costume on. So those are like entirely...
Oh, so are they from different...
They
That's
took
funny,
them from completely different shots.
Oh, I see.
And strung them together.
Okay.
But one thing I do like about this is even though there's like a lot of stuff like consistently blowing up and you see a lot of this thing with the grappling hook hooked onto different things, I think they still pull off escalation with their audio design. Because it starts off a little bit quieter, a little bit more peaceful.
Definitely serene, and there's no sound effects, and then the sound effects
Come in like right at the very end, like that last bit. They punch it up with all the sound effects, which are not there throughout the rest of the music. So I think that makes it work really well. How much of the like destructibility did Just Cause 2 have? Like when we see this whole building falling apart.
Oh yeah.
Did it have a lot of that?
Oh yeah.
Because I know it's very much a Red Faction thing, but I didn't play that much of Just Cause 2.
There was a lot of alarms and stuff like that, or flipping certain switches, and then the entire complex would blow up. So you'd be like down in a silo, and then you'd have like 15 seconds to just get out of there, and then you could you want to get a good vantage point, from up above, and then see the whole thing explode. So I imagine there's refineries and buildings and stuff like that there's missions to topple them, and of course you'll be like standing on them right before they blow up. So and with the wingsuit now, you can just kind of gracefully fly through all of the carnage.
A lot of shots with the sun.
Yeah, I mean the game's vibrant. I think it's also really good at showing that off.
Yeah, beautiful.
The sunflowers are pretty cool.
Definitely looks great. As somebody who clocked in at just an obscene amount of hours into Just Cause 2, this is clearly an improvement. I just also wonder too, the vibe seems to be a little serious, and I obviously want them to play up the fun, the campiness of Just Cause.
Yeah.
And I think, just a little too action heavy, a little too much of a mishmash of a bunch of different things. Would have liked more of an example of really what makes this game franchise unique. But even though we are only giving this a aggregated trailer score of 7.5 for the gameplay reveal of Just Cause 3, man, am I pumped for this game. I mean, nothing. You'd have to have several anti-trailers. They'd have to be some guy screaming at me not to buy Just Cause 3 for me to even think of a second that this game would not be incredible. And now I can pre-order it, Kyle. I can leave this video right now, and I can go pre-order it. If you have not seen the actual trailer for Just Cause 3, I invite you to go check that out. And I also invite you to go check out our last episode of Trailer Score, where we checked out Batman Arkham Knight, the Those That Follow You trailer. So, no? You didn't like it, Kyle?
I did not like that trailer.
So if you want to hear why Kyle didn't like that trailer, you can go watch that video. And if you want more trailer scores, you can get one guaranteed next Monday, or you might see one pop up on our channel. So thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Daniel. See you next episode.
Yeah.